Hello, and welcome back to the channel. I'm absolutely delighted you've decided to spend the next 20 minutes or so with me today, because we're going to explore something that I believe could genuinely transform your life. Today, we're talking about the power of letting go. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Letting go? That sounds a bit wishy-washy, doesn't it? But stick with me, because what we're discussing today isn't about giving up or being passive. It's about one of the most courageous and powerful acts you can perform, the conscious choice to release what no longer serves you.
Picture this for a moment. Imagine you're hiking up a mountain, and in your rucksack, you've packed everything you think you might need. But as you climb higher, you realise you've brought far too much. Your shoulders ache, your legs feel heavy, and every step becomes increasingly difficult. What do? You stop, reassess, and leave behind what's unnecessary. Life works rather similarly, doesn't it? We accumulate emotional baggage, outdated beliefs, toxic relationships, and past grievances. We carry them with us everywhere we go, and they weigh us down in ways we often don't even realise. The power of letting go isn't about losing something valuable. It's about recognising what's actually holding you back and having the wisdom and courage to release it.
Before we dive deeper, let's clarify what letting go actually means, because there are some common misconceptions floating about. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting what happened to you, excusing someone's poor behaviour, becoming emotionally numb, giving up on your dreams, being weak or defeated. What letting go actually means is releasing your attachment to outcomes you cannot control, choosing peace over being right, accepting what has happened whilst taking responsibility for how you respond, freeing yourself from the prison of resentment, creating space for new opportunities and experiences. It's an active choice, not a passive surrender. There's fascinating research that shows our brains are literally wired to hold on to negative experiences more strongly than positive ones. It's called the negativity bias, and it served our ancestors well when survival was the primary concern. If you remembered where the dangerous predators lived, you were more likely to survive. But in our modern world, this same mechanism can trap us in cycles of rumination, resentment, and regret. When we replay past hurts or worry obsessively about future scenarios, we're activating the same stress response systems that were designed for immediate physical threats. The brilliant news is that neuroscience has also shown us that our brains are remarkably plastic. We can literally rewire our neural pathways through conscious practice. Every time we choose to let go rather than hold on, we're strengthening the neural pathways that support emotional freedom and resilience.
Letting go manifests differently in various areas of our lives. Let me walk you through some of the most common areas where people struggle to release their grip. Perhaps you've ended a romantic relationship that wasn't working, but part of you still clings to what it could have been. Or maybe you're holding on to anger towards a friend who betrayed your trust. Letting go doesn't mean pretending these relationships didn't matter or that the pain wasn't real. It means accepting that the relationship has run its course and that holding on to it is preventing you from fully engaging with your present life. Maybe you didn't get the promotion you deserved, or your business venture didn't succeed as you'd hoped.
The temptation is to ruminate on what went wrong, to replay scenarios where things might have been different. But this mental rehearsal keeps you stuck in the past rather than preparing for future opportunities. Often, the hardest person to forgive is ourselves. We hold on to guilt, shame, and regret with a tenacity that we'd never apply to others. We become our own harshest critics, replaying our mistakes on an endless loop. Learning to let go of self-judgment is perhaps the most transformative act of release we can perform. Here's something rather counterintuitive about letting go. The more tightly we grasp something, the more likely we are to lose it. It's like trying to hold water in your cupped hands. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. This applies to relationships, opportunities, and even our own happiness. When we become overly attached to specific outcomes, we often create the very resistance that prevents those outcomes from manifesting. Think about a time when you really wanted something to happen. Perhaps you were desperately hoping for a particular job or trying to make a relationship work through sheer force of will. Often, it's only when we step back and release our death grip on the outcome that things begin to flow more naturally.
Now let's get practical. How do we actually let go? It's all well and good to understand the concept intellectually, but how do we implement it in our daily lives?
You can't release what you don't recognize. Take some time to honestly assess what you're gripping too tightly. Is it a grudge against someone who wronged you? Fear about a future event? Regret about a past decision? Write it down. Name it. Bringing these attachments into conscious awareness is the first step towards freedom.
Ask yourself, what is holding on to this costing me? Is your resentment towards an ex-colleague affecting your current job performance? Is your fear of failure preventing you from pursuing your dreams? Is your need to control every detail creating stress in your relationships? Understanding the true cost of holding on often provides the motivation needed to let go.
Sometimes we need concrete actions to help us release what we're holding on to. This might be writing a letter you'll never send and then burning it. It could be having an imaginary conversation where you say everything you need to say. Some people find meditation helpful, whilst others prefer physical activities like going for a long walk or doing some vigorous exercise. The key is finding what works for you and making it a conscious, intentional act.
Once you've released what you can't control, redirect your energy towards what you can influence. You can't control how others behave, but you can control how you respond. You can't control every outcome, but you can control your effort and attitude. This shift in focus from external circumstances to internal responses is incredibly empowering. When we truly let go, something magical happens. We create space for new experiences, new relationships, new opportunities, and new versions of ourselves. I remember speaking with a woman who had spent years holding on to anger towards her father for his absence during her childhood. She described the process of letting go as feeling like she'd been carrying a heavy rucksack that she didn't even realize was there until she set it down. Suddenly, she had energy for things that actually mattered to her. She could engage more fully with her own children, pursue interests she'd neglected, and form new relationships without the filter of past hurt. Letting go often leads to increased emotional energy and vitality, improved relationships with others, greater creativity and problem-solving ability, reduced stress and anxiety, a deeper sense of peace and contentment, enhanced resilience when facing new challenges.
Of course, letting go isn't always straightforward. There are common obstacles that many of us face. The fear of forgetting. Some people worry that letting go means they'll forget important lessons or dishonor their experiences. But letting go doesn't erase memory. It simply changes your relationship to those memories. You can remember what happened without allowing it to control your present moment. The illusion of justice. Sometimes we hold on to resentment because we believe that letting go means the other person gets away with it. But your resentment doesn't actually punish them, it punishes you. True justice isn't served by your suffering. Identity attachment. Sometimes our pain becomes part of our identity. We become the person who was betrayed or the one who didn't get the break they deserved. Whilst our experiences shape us, they don't have to define us indefinitely. The secondary gain. Occasionally, there are hidden benefits to holding on to something painful. Perhaps it gets us sympathy from others, or it gives us an excuse not to take risks. Honestly examining these secondary gains can help us understand why we might be resistant to letting go.
Letting go isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice. Every day presents opportunities to choose release over resistance, flow over force, acceptance over attachment. Start small. Perhaps you're stuck in traffic and feeling frustrated. Can you let go of your attachment to arriving at a specific time and instead use the moment for reflection or listening to something you enjoy? Maybe a colleague's comment irritated you. Can you let go of the need to be right and simply move on with your day? These small acts of letting go build your emotional resilience muscles. They prepare you for the bigger releases that life sometimes demands of us.
Let's be clear about something. Letting go requires tremendous courage. It's much easier to hold on to familiar pain than to step into uncertain freedom. It takes courage to release control, to forgive, to move forward without guarantees. But this courage isn't about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and choosing growth anyway. It's about trusting that on the other side of letting go lies something better than what you're clinging to. As we wrap up today's conversation, I want to leave you with this thought. You have more power than you realize. The power to choose your response to any situation. The power to release what no longer serves you. The power to create space for what you truly want in your life. Letting go isn't about losing something precious. It's about making room for something even more valuable. Your freedom, your peace, and your authentic self. I challenge you to identify one thing you've been holding on to that's no longer serving you. It might be small, it might be significant, but choose something and take the first step towards releasing it. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every person who has mastered the art of letting go started exactly where you are now, with the recognition that holding on too tightly is keeping them from the life they truly want to live. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. What are you ready to let go of? What's one small step you can take today towards greater freedom? Until next time, be kind to yourself, trust the process, and remember, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply let go.